I learned something a while back. I hung out with this woman, and she had hung out with, she was telling me some stories. She ended up hanging out, we're rubbing shoulders with some very famous people, like the founder of JCPenney and a famous actor, right? And in her dealings with these people, I realized some stuff, and then I've also been talking to, some top professional athletes here and there, and some top professional athletes here and there, and just in my dealings with people, and I'm realizing something, that people are people. Now, what do I mean by that? It's like no matter what, like there's different levels to life, in a sense, levels. We can make distinctions of levels. For example, the first place where I realized about levels was when I watched this movie. It's called The Big Short. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's about these guys, and they're top follow several, I think, hedge fund managers during the 2008 housing crisis in the States. And it's based on a true story, and there's this one guy who shorted the market, said, okay, it's going to crash. He bought all this stuff expecting the crash, and then it actually did crash. He made a fuck ton of money, right? And which is crazy to think about. But so he's playing a game with all these other people's money. And in either case, what I realized was in the movie, they did a great job, at least in my opinion, of showing, like, you see these hedge fund managers and you see the world that they're living within. They're interacting with people. They're tossing, they're making bets with huge amounts of money. And then they go visit the normal people, right, in their house. And it's like normal people problems. And it's like, here's a family with a kid and they're struggling to make rent. Or, here's this other guy and like their main, like think about, like enter into the worlds of these people, right? It's like the world of the single mom. She's got no time to do anything. She's working 2 jobs to barely make it by. And it's just, her life is completely dominated by the kid and the work and sleep, and that's it. Or like the people, and then it's like, okay, I'm a young whatever person, I'm working, and then I go to the club, and then I work my 9 to 5, and then on the weekend I go, and it's like, and I work my whole life to maybe make, I don't know, $1 million throughout the entire course of my life, most of which I spend on shit I don't need, and then I die. And then there's this other world where the people are dealing in amounts of money, like on a daily basis, that you'll never make in your lifetime. And they live in a world of fancy dinners and cars and drivers, and it's like you see how, and private jets. It's like, have you ever experienced it? I don't live that world. Got no problems with living that world. I'm just saying, it's like there's these other worlds. Or contrast that with, you ever been to a third world country? I have a couple times. You see, a couple different ones. Very different. It's like, talk about getting some contrast. You're in a hut with a dirt floor. You're sitting on the floor eating food off a banana leaf. People, and it's just like that, and that's their life. And you deal in amounts of money at a base level in the United States that these people, they don't fucking ever see that. It's wild, right? These different worlds people can live in, or you could be in a place that's getting ethnically cleansed because people are killing each other. So you see these different worlds, right? And so in this world of The Big Short, you see these different worlds. Now, I can't remember why. Right. I had an assumption about people that I didn't realize I had, which was if you are a top income earner or top performer, that somehow in the background I held that you're free of this stuff, free of people's stuff. But then in my dealings with people, or like the stories I heard, right? You get people, how fucked up people can be? Now, I thought that if you're rich or wealthy, you wouldn't have these problems, or famous, and you wouldn't have these problems, and I was wrong. Because I heard about this, like founder of JCPenney, do some twisted shit. I'm like, oh my God, they're suffering. Or like, this other famous actors, like total alcoholic. Why are they so unhappy? It's like they have everything, or like, I talked, no, I didn't talk to. I heard a clip with Will Smith talking about how there's something that you discover when you reach the top. If you like win at the game of money or something like that, or you win at the game of fame and you get to the top, and then you finally realize that that doesn't do it for you either. And then you hit the same crisis probably that anybody who like you go through life striving to get the thing, and then if you finally get the thing, it doesn't solve the problem for you. And for some, you picking up what I'm putting down there? Like maybe you spend 20 years doing Ching Shin thinking that's somehow going to resolve you. Now and then it doesn't once you attain it, right? Oh, then you hit a crisis. Uh-oh, that thing didn't work. Now what I think most people do is they just strive they forget that, and then they just strive for the next thing, still being driven by this same emptiness or this same void in their soul or this same unanswered question. And then they go to the next thing, and then it never works, and then they get too old and they're like, fuck it, and they die. Or some people, they actually attain everything and they realize it doesn't work, or you stay in it long enough and you realize that it actually doesn't work for real. And then you're left with this problem. Now, backing up a little bit, and I think the reason I made this video is like I had these assumptions that if you're famous, somehow you're not a shithead. Or like you don't have certain human qualities that I think are valuable, like keeping your word, being honorable, not being free of this childish behavior. You see, so like just because people are top professionals doesn't mean they're not a piece of shit or they haven't worked out their childishness. Just look at some of the people up in politics. They're children. And they're the children that are in power. They're in an adult body, but they're not mature. They're not, they don't seem to have high integrity. They lie. They're not actually serving people. Like there's a whole host of qualities that for some reason I thought that, if you get famous or get money or whatever, that somehow it means you're a grown-up. Not true. I'm barely grown up. Barely, as far as I can tell, right? And I'm probably more adult than a lot of people. At least that's what I'm finding. It seems to me. Maybe I'm full of shit. I probably am. See, so it's like then what I'm gathering from all this is the fame and the money and the status. Like how many people of high status do you know in our culture in this day and age? Like just look at influencers on Instagram. What's their claim? Like they're famous, like the Kardashians, that they're famous for what? What kind of people are they? You don't know. Aside from the fame, you don't know. Like what do they do in their private life? Do you know? No, because you don't live with them. See, people are fucking weird in their private life. And we try to pretend like it's not the case, but as far as I can tell, it is. And I didn't realize I had these assumptions. So, what can you do with this video? I have no idea. I got no fucking clue. Well, what do you want to do with this video? Recognize what you might be assuming about others. Consider these qualities of being a human that like, I've been trained and I take certain things for granted, but when I look at like, hey, do you keep your word when you're going to say you're going to go somewhere? Do you actually keep your word? The more I hang out where I'm hanging out, say you want to get something fixed or something, you call a general contractor, and as far as I can tell, they're notorious for this, so now general contractors as a whole have a reputation in my mind is like, you're going to be there at 12? Yeah, right. When is the last time I called somebody, they said they'd be there at 12, and they were actually there at 12? And they're running a fucking business, by the way. When's the last time that happened? And to me, this is now basic shit, not in our culture anymore. Or like, I talk to a professional, get my window tinted, but then the guy who tints my windows, I look at him, I'm like, I don't know about this guy. And sure enough, he does a bad job, does a shitty job, scratches things up. It's like, your job is to tint the windows, not do a shitty job. But then there's like, yeah, but you're not paying me enough money, and blah, blah, and fuck you. It's like, well, no, fuck you. Or like the doctors who I go see, or who I was around, and they're not communicating with each other in an ICU. Don't you think you'd be more on top of it when it's like people's lives at stake? But no. You see, like these basic things, these fundamental things, now this stuff I was taught. These are values I was taught. I took them on myself, for me, and I see their power. Now, do I see this in the culture? No, that's also partly why I'm making this video. It's like I want to take a stand for, hey, can we have this again? Can we do more of this? I think this is a better way to go. And at the same time, I know you're going to do what you want to do, and it is not my job to, I don't give a shit what you do. You do you. I'm just trying to share some understanding here and also gripe and bitch about stuff as I tend to do. And also to serve you so that if you're interested, you can take these things on and see if they're actually powerful or beneficial. But it's like, why? Yeah, let's have more of that in our culture. Or like, the more I grow up and then I see maybe younger people and or just people in general, sloppy thinking, not precise. Like where, like, I don't know, back in the day, I'm just imagining, I'm spitballing here with you, I have no idea. It's like you hire a craftsman. There were actual craftsmen that built stuff that was good. And that was like their livelihood depended on that. So then it's like they made sure they were good at it. It's like, where is this, let's be good at what we do stuff? Where's the honor? Where's the integrity? Because I thought, like I said, mistakenly thought that if you make money or you're famous, it's like you have these things. But no, you could be a total dirtbag human being and make a lot of money. So anyway, maybe it's just wishful thinking. It's probably just idealized thinking. I just want more people to engage in the types of activities and be the type of people that I would want to interact and work with, and I don't see it very much, so hey, I'm making a video about it to share, okay? So that's what I have for you there. Create value out of this video, otherwise, I'll catch you later. I love you. Take care. Talk later. If you want to get serious or get into some of this stuff, check the links in the description. We have a weekly newsletter, school community. If you actually want to get serious, come to a fucking workshop. Or don't, I don't care. If you actually really want to get serious, got a 3-month program, an apprenticeship program. I'll be in Europe coming up here soon, so come join me there. Check the links if you want to know more, email me or go to my website. You can hit me on WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, much love. Take care. Bye.